me tomorrow. I got to get out of here. Hey, Tuttle, I got a date for you tonight. Dot's cousin just got into town, and you and
I already have an engagement. I've had it for over a month with Cyrus J. Rutherford.
Cyrus J. Rutherford, the screwball millionaire?
Eccentric. You can't call a man with $8 million a screwball.
I can. All that hocus-pocus about the stars and building a private, what do you call it, on top of his house?
Observatory. He just happens to believe in the influence of the stars on human behavior.
The only stars that could influence my behavior would be Dorothy Lamour or Veronica Lake. Say, every big company in town's taking a shot at Rutherford. How'd you swing it?
Leo?
Leo? Leo who?
The star. You see, I wrote and told him that I was born under the sign of Leo. That's his lucky star. And he wrote right back and made the appointment for the 13th, which is today, when Leo's in the ascendancy.
You mean to say you believe in that guff, too?
I believe in selling insurance.
Tuttle, the way you keep that nose to the grindstone, you're going to wear out the grindstone.
You can laugh. Wait till I come back here with Mr. Rutherford's name on that policy.
Quiet, please. I, Cyrus J. Rutherford, being of sound mind and body, do hereby declare the following to be the preamble to my last will and testament. The disposition of my estate is of only slightly less interest to me than it is to you, my loving heirs. It has been divided among you. The largest share is to be $500,000, and the smallest, $1.50 to pay for the taxi from the station. So pay close attention, all of you. My sister Estelle, who disobeyed my wishes 20 years ago by marrying a nincompoop, named, I believe, Kenneth, and whom I've had the pleasure of not seeing since.
Cyrus never changed a bit.
And niece Margaret, whom I have never seen, which is probably just as well.
I like that.
My nephew, James Davis. I last saw him when he was an impertinent youth of 20. I do not like impertinence, and I did not like James. My niece, Carol Dunlap, although I despised her father, turned out to have somewhat better intelligence and a less selfish interest in her old uncle than others in the family. And the last of my living relatives, nephew Henry Rutherford and his wife, Mona. Henry, at least, has the virtue of bearing the Rutherford name, and he was a fairly good investment counselor. Honest, as far as I could find out. Mona wears too much makeup.
I told you he didn't.
Oh, shut up. Go on, Mr. Gelman.
And she seems to have waited with undue impatience for my demise. My faithful butler, Merkel, who for 20 years padded the household bills, and Matthews, who kept house for me in a haphazard sort of way. Professor Hilton, to whom I owe my knowledge and understanding of the secrets of the heavens. And finally, my lawyer, Morton Gelman. Well, that's about all, folks. The rest is just routine.
Go ahead and read it. We're all just one big happy family.
Yes, let's hear it. We want to...
Whom I trust implicitly as far as I can throw an elephant. As you know, I have been an ardent student of the stars. I want to continue to be exposed to them. Therefore, I wish to be interred not underground, but in a glass-domed vault where they will evermore continue to shine down upon me. You are all to remain here as my guests until this vault is completed. After I have been safely interred, you may open my will, which is now sealed in the safe in the specimen room. Then you will learn how I have seen fit to reward you, one and all. But should this, my last wish, be disobeyed, and my body buried anywhere except in the above-mentioned vault, then the terms of the will shall be reversed, and those who are to get the large bequests will get the smallest, and vice versa. Furthermore, should any of you leave the grounds before I am safely interred in my vault, you will forfeit all rights to your legacies. I know you will find it difficult to live together, even for a few days, but this is my wish. So with these last words, I leave you to your squabbling, which, fortunately, I won't be able to hear.
Of all the insulting and insane ideas.
Well, it'll never hold up in a court of law.
Please, please. It's all perfectly legal. They'll start work on the vault tomorrow. Should only be a matter of a few days.
Looks as if you and I are in for the lion's share.
You mean from what Uncle Cyrus said?
Oh, this place gives me the creeping meanies. I wish it were over with.
You don't have to stay.
Have you read the final will? Do you know who gets what?
He drew it up himself. And nobody will read the will until he is properly interred.
Well,
Let's not stand around in the presence of Uncle Cyrus's body and quarrel about his will.
I wouldn't quarrel either if I'd spent 20 years stooging for a slice of it.
I resent that.
I meant you to, dear cousin.
Perhaps you would all like some coffee.
Very well. You'll serve it in the library, Matthews.
Am I taking orders from you now?
You are.
Do as Mrs. Rutherford say, Matthews, until the actual bill is read.
What do you mean by that?
Exactly nothing, madam? Nothing at all.
Excuse me, I'll straighten the room.
Atlas Detective Agency? I have a job for you.
What? You want to hire a man to guard a stiff?
Yes, I want you to see that he isn't buried.
Hey, look, is this a gag?
His body must not be disturbed. That's right. You want the job or don't you?
We'll keep your friend on ice. Just pay my man the first $100 when he gets there.
All right. I'll be expecting you in about an hour.
Can I play too?
I beg your pardon.
That's all right. I was just going to have a quiet 6 or 8 drinks if you will tell me which is to be my room.
Well, I could even show you, unless you'd rather drink alone.
Mrs. Rutherford.
Mona!
Well, what have we here?
Oh, come on, Kenneth. I've got a headache.
Does anyone see Professor Hilton?
He's up in the tower, I imagine, communing with the stars.
Well, just to set everyone's mind at rest, I've engaged a watchman to spend the night with the casket.
That's a swell idea. It'll save us the trouble of watching each other all night.
What have you there, Merkel?
There are too many rats in this house. They should be done away with. You haven't put out enough cups.
Mr. and Mrs. Rutherford, are they to have it too?
All of them. Will you open the door, please?